Hey there, folks! Today we're delving into some fascinating statistics freshly released by the Office for National Statistics. And boy, do we have a lot to unpack. Brace yourselves because we're diving deep into the heart of the UK's population dynamics, and it's a doozy. According to the latest projections, the UK's population is on track to hit a staggering 73.7 million by the year 2036. And guess what's fueling the lion's share of this growth? You guessed it, net migration, accounting for over 90% of the projected increase. Now, if that doesn't get your gears turning, I don't know what will. But hold your horses, folks. Before we start pointing fingers and hurling accusations, let's take a step back and examine the situation with a critical eye. Nigel Farage has been making waves, describing the surge as nothing short of a population crisis, one that's rapidly spiraling out of control and wreaking havoc on everyone's quality of life. And let's be real, it's not just Farage. This topic has been front and center at this week's Popular Conservatism, or PopCon, launch event, stirring the pot and sparking some heated debates. Now, before we jump on the bandwagon of scapegoating foreigners or demonizing migrants, let's hit the pause button. There's more nuance to this issue than meets the eye. Yes, it's undeniable that the UK's housing stock is struggling to keep pace with the existing population, let alone millions more. And don't even get me started on our crumbling infrastructure and strained public services. It's a hot mess, folks, no doubt about it. But here's the kicker. Instead of resorting to knee-jerk reactions and pointing fingers, let's address the real elephant in the room. The defeatist Cheems mindset. What's that, you ask? Well, it's this fatalistic attitude that Britain is somehow inherently incapable of coping with a growing population. And let me tell you, folks, that's just plain hogwash. Let's crunch some numbers, shall we? The ONS forecast predicts a population growth rate of about 0.6% per annum. Now, sure, that sounds like a hefty figure, but let's put it into perspective. Back in the 19th century, England was experiencing growth rates exceeding a whopping 1% annually. And guess what? It thrived. The economy boomed, housing became more affordable, and public health saw marked improvement. So what gives? Well, back in the day, Britain was a construction powerhouse. We were building houses, roads, railways, you name it. We were on it. Our housing stock was expanding faster than our population, keeping things in perfect equilibrium. But somewhere along the line, we lost our mojo. Now, some folks argue that high population growth can actually be a good thing. Take West Germany in the 1950s and 60s, for example. Despite experiencing a massive population surge, it's remembered as a golden age of economic prosperity. And it's not just Europe. Countries like Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea have witnessed exponential growth with no population crisis in sight. So why the doom and gloom, Britain? The issue here isn't just migration. It's our failure to invest in housing and infrastructure. Even if we had a more selective immigration system, we'd still be facing the same uphill battle. So, my friends, let's rise to the occasion and tackle these challenges head on. Because at the end of the day, a growing population doesn't have to spell disaster if we're willing to roll up our sleeves and get to work.